Okay, so I'm just going to move on to the next section now, which is the app market. So in the settings, there is actually, if you scroll down, sorry, if you go into add, there is apps, and so there is a few things in here, but there is a whole different section called the app market. So that's the tab. Now these are all different sorts of apps from mostly outside sources. So as you can see, some of them are free and a premium version, some of them are just a free trial, and most of them are like that. These are really, really handy as your business grows, and these are constantly being updated as well. So there's new apps being added all the time. So do, from time to time, have a flick through here. There's great things like a social feed. So if you want to sort of put a social feed from your Facebook page onto your, say, your homepage, then, anyone that stops by will see, what's the latest few comments on your Facebook page, which is really handy if you constantly update your Facebook page, but you don't really update your website that much. Or you might have Twitter or something like that, or Pinterest or Instagram. So I'd say you probably use Facebook more though. So that one's quite a handy one. If you're unsure how to implement it, just ring me up and I'll set it up for you. There's comments as well, which is quite a handy one. There's email marketing ones, which they're good for some businesses, but not necessarily yours, I guess. Unless you wanted to set up an email newsletter for people that are looking to buy a new house and they want to know all the new houses that come onto the market. But then I think Facebook is a lot better in the Westweiler market for you. So there is booking schedules. If you want to put ads on your website, there's Google AdSense. There's a chat agent. If you wanted to add a blog to help your SEO ranking in Google, you can add that. I don't think you really need that though. I mean, I think you're number 2 now in the Google rankings of Real Estate Westweiler. You can add a forum if you wanted to have people be able to chat on there. That's the list creator one that, as I said, I tested and it isn't quite right for your listings so at the moment. Scheduler, contact forms. This is just a different kind of contact form to the one that Wix offers. Different kinds of online shop type things, but as I said, Wix actually has their own online shop system, which is much better than any of those. If you wanted to do latest news, you could use that. This is kind of a list builder as well, but it's not going to be right for you being able to list your things because it doesn't enable you to put more than one image. Lots of different ones, so do feel free to have a look through these. Just scrolling through to see if there might be anything else in here for you. 360 degrees, I had a look at that for you. I was hoping it might be able to sort of have a look around the room, but it's not quite. It's more sort of having an object stay in one place and then rotating the object, so it's not necessarily for looking 360 degrees around a room. More chat forums, social sharing, all that kind of thing. And then these ones are actually the ones from Wix. All these ones that say mobile ready. And they're the same thing that's in that other apps tab, which is in the plus. Okay. And then a few more. Yeah. But they're just some of the things that you can add on to your website, free and premium services. Okay. All right. Now, so that's everything to do with the editor. It's fairly intuitive. You just kind of click and feel your way around. You shouldn't be able to damage it too much by having a little play. I'm actually going to go back to my account, which is before we open the editor. So it will always stay on the next tab next to it. So we've got along here is sort of some of our back-end settings. So if I go into domains, this is how I plugged in the domain for you. And you can see here that it's pointing to quademoncrieff.com.au, and you can actually go in and you can manage some of the DNS properties. So you can see here it's plugged into your Google Analytics. It's not plugged into your mail settings because that's through a separate provider, or not through, it's not affecting your DNS. Okay, and you can actually go into your DNS settings in here, which is great because normally when you buy a domain, you don't always necessarily get the DNS settings or the ability to be able to change the DNS settings for free. You normally have to pay for that. So I can do things like add a host record, add a CNAME record, add a text record, add a mail record. So if you decided later on that you wanted to have your emails different, like to say info@quademoncrieff.com.au instead of what you've got, then you would need to sort of adjust these settings in here. I'll do that for you. And the name servers. Okay. So that's really handy. Mailboxes. Basically, Wix has just introduced a new mail system, so you can have your email through them, but it's quite expensive, so don't ever do that. You've got your vouchers in here too, which we still need to use for you. So you've got your $75 Google AdWords voucher and your $50 Facebook voucher. So, I mean, you don't necessarily have to use these because, I mean, you're number 2, but yeah, they're good for if you wanted to advertise certain house for sale or something like that. Okay, and it shows you, there's little links to say how you claim. Now, if you want to change your billing and payments, it just says that it's yearly and it does it automatically. Okay, and you can manage those payments in there. And that's pretty much everything. I'm going to go back to my account section. Down here we also have some other things. Now these are basically the same things that are in that app menu, or some of the same things. And there is one thing that's quite handy is the SEO wizard. Now I've already used this on your site, but I'm going to just show you how it works. So this basically helps you figure out, what I should be changing to make my site more SEO effective, so a higher ranking in Google. So we're checking the site Quade Moncrieff, and the search term that we're going to use is real estate West Wyalong, because I think that's the most important search term that people will find you from. Okay, and so you type in your search term. If you want a different one as well, you can put that in, and you just click Get Report. Okay, and it will check through your whole site, and it comes up and says, okay, your title is great, it's the correct length, and you're using all of your search terms. So if you go and change this site title, it'll change this, and it might say, no, sorry, you haven't got that search term in your title, and it'll give you a cross and say, please go and fix this. And then in your description, it also wants you to have your real estate West Wyalong as in your description. So it says, great, yep, you've done the right thing. Your H1, so that's why I've actually changed that heading, which is, I'll just go back to home. This is the H1 heading here. So that's why I've changed that from real estate sales in the heart of the country to real estate West Wyalong, blah, 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 blah. Because it needed a more effective H1, which is what Google goes ahead and tags. It says that it's got 2 H1s and that they recommend only using one, but that's okay because the first one is the one that's effective. Okay, and then your image names, we found 9 images on your homepage, and they all contain the words real estate West Wyalong, specifically optimized for SEO. Okay, and that's pretty much everything. As I said, any questions at all, just ring me up, email me, and I'll either talk you through it, do you a video, or do it for you if you just prefer me to do it for you. Okay, and that's it. Easy.